going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. I know it has been a while since we've made one of these, but we are back. So car's right behind us. Everything's been fine. It's been running okay. I had to get it towed the other day and really don't know why. So I guess everything hasn't been fine, but it's running fine now. Drove it around, went, got gas, did all the stuff, and it's good. But there are a few things we have to address. Number one is we destroyed one of our motor mounts. So we have some 034 track density mounts. So a lot of people are going to tell me I should have went for the solid mounts, but this is where we are. And I got these through FCP, so being that the other one got destroyed, this was a free replacement. So this is definitely the way we're going. So we have some new 034 mounts that we're going to throw in. So if you'll accompany me for that. And there's actually one other thing we're going to get done. So we've had this for a long time and just haven't had the time to get it done. You know, got into a new place. As you guys can see, the garage is different. Well, it's been the same for a year now, but still, house has been kicking my butt. But we got the ECS rear diff mount. So we're going to throw that in. I already had replaced the bushings on the rear diff carrier with stern ones a while ago, blue. So we're going to look into those because a lot of people say those like melt into place or they just disintegrate. So we're going to take a look, make sure those look okay, and also throw this on and stiffen things up a bit. Well, just make them a little more rigid. Let's see how it goes. So here is the car, just to give you guys an update on what's been going on. Whole setup is still the same. Everything has literally stayed the same. Car's been running great, no issues. Temp's been fine. It's been building boost fine. I'm still the one kind of tuning it. Still haven't found a local tuner who has a dyno that can tune it on EMU Black. So it's staying like this. It's running pretty well. It's making some decent power. And next year we'll get into actually getting it on the dyno and getting things finally sorted out and give you guys a power number. But today we're going to take this front bumper off, take a few other things off, just so we can get a clearer shot at these motor mounts, and I'll show you guys what happened in there. I might take this filter off too and just give it a nice clean because it needs it. Alright, now let's go give you an idea of why we're replacing these motor mounts. So if you see in here, I'll try to aim it as best I can. And you cannot see in there. You could sorta. I'll get you a better look later, but you can't really see what's going on there, but the motor mount's just separated at the top. I'll take a picture and throw it up. So this is what I meant by this motor mount is shot. It needs to be replaced. You could see it completely removed itself from that conversation there. Get a bumper bolt in there to just hold that radiator support in for us. Alright, so we got the space we need now to get the stuff done. Can reach that motor mount easily. The guy on this side is going to be more of a pain in the tuchus, but we'll make it work. Alright, so I got the filter out, and you could see here, it's seen better days. We get this guy cleaned and try to sort of straighten it out. I don't know how it got so crooked, but anyway. You can see we've modded this filter. You can see through it. because we didn't have a basically a vacuum source for the catch can, and we needed some constant vacuum, and there's no other better place to get it than from your intake. And since we don't necessarily have the space to run an intake here, got a port on the head of the filter, which is just as good, and at least in my opinion. I think it just works just as fine. So at that point I bought a Vibrant and a K&N filter. The Vibrant one looked like it would work a little better for me, especially because this cap here was metal, so I could drill into it and then secure this on well. But what I'm going to do is also modify this K&N to do the same, just so I have hot swappable filters in case I ever need. I'll get this guy cleaned because it's not just a single-use filter, so I'll get it cleaned, figured out. But in the meantime, we'll run this, and then next time I can just switch in and out. Did run this Turbo Guard before, which I really like, but again, no vacuum source, so I couldn't use a catch can with it, and I kind of need one. And then on top of that, you know, it's not necessarily the best filter or protection. It looks sick, especially when you have it on the turbo, but not sure I'm going to be running this all that often. Alright, so we got it modded. Here we go. This time we went with a black barbed connector. It should look a little cleaner and fit just fine. So it's awesome. Got the new filter on. Probably gonna just clean up the Vibrant one, so that way I have a just swappable replacement, like I said earlier. I was thinking about getting another one of these K&N ones because I think I like this setup a little better. I think it looks a little cleaner, but we'll see once it's on the car. Alright, so we're here at the passenger side motor mount, just loosening that up. There we go. There goes that one. And we'll move over to the driver's side. Alright, got that guy out too. Alright, so we got the nut off of the top here from in here. So the passenger side is ready to go. Now we just got to get in on this side, which again, not as simple. Alright, so we have the socket in there, everything's loose. Get it out. And I'll get the magnet out to pull that. Okay, so here we are, got the carb in the air. It's on stands. Also got the mounts for the trans loosened. Can't really see them. Oh, you can see that right there, that bolt. It is loosened, that center one. And now we're gonna start jacking this guy up. So I got a block here on the oil pan and gonna start loosening it. I'm sorry, not loosening it, but lifting it, and hopefully we get some movement from that motor mount. Alright, so there we go, it's lifting. A little bit more, and I think we'll have enough space to get it out. And now, of course, because nothing is ever easy, we have a coolant leak. Not sure if you can see the coolant dripping down there, but we're leaking, and it's from this connection right here, which isn't even under that much tension. So, not sure what happened there. But here we go. We'll get it checked out. Alright, so we got the motor mounts out. So what happened was, like I told you earlier, we loosened all these mounts. Able to jack things up. We saw the motor mount moving. Jacked it up to where we could get both these studs out, of course. And you can see the reason why we were changing them. This is the passenger side mount, and it just delaminated itself from in here. Just completely just boop, popped out. This is the driver's side mount. Not bad. It actually looks like it's in pretty solid condition. It is leaning a bit, but nothing too crazy. We are going to replace it anyways because we have new parts and we got it out, so why throw anything old back on? So gonna get those two back in and go from there, and of course then figure out this coolant leak that I apparently caused. All right, so we got these motor mounts lined up. You can see that guy in there. And we'll come across to the other side. Also lined up. Got the bottoms lined up, of course. And they're all dropped. So motor's back in place. Good to go there. Just got to get the bolt on and then try to figure out what happened here. But we'll see. Okay, so next day, I had to take a break. Stuff going on, sprinklers, you know, homeowner stuff. Anyways, we're pretty much done here with the motor mounts. You guys remember? Of course you remember, it's the same video, I don't remember. But anyways, we got the old mounts off. New mounts are in, got the hardware back on, got the front end back and secured. So you can see that there. Car's good to go. Just got to do headlights. But before we do that, we're actually going to go ahead and still throw this diff mount in. Just to get an idea of how that feels, you know? So let's get that going. All right, so this right here is what we're replacing. As you can see, it's seen cleaner days. But this cross brace stays, so that part stays. We're going to be removing this bolt here in the middle, these guys here, and trying to support the diff with the jack like we have there. And we will go from there. So let's get these the hardware removed, and then we'll move along. Okay, so we're going to start with the center bolt first. Got that guy loose. I'll work on loosening the others before we pull this out fully. There's one. Two. And three. Now we can go ahead and pull this out completely and start trying to figure out how we're going to wiggle this out. All right, so we went ahead and got that center bolt removed. Now we're gonna, we went ahead and removed the three accessible ones here. So that's 1, 2, 3. There's one more in there, but this cross brace has got to go before we get there. So we're gonna pull that off next, and just get going from there. All right, so now we have that brace out, sitting right there, and we can go ahead now and remove the last bolt holding this on, which sits right here, and we can go ahead and drop that diff mount. This here is what we're left sitting with once that diff mount is out. So we'll make our way out from under the car and go check this out. All right, so we're out from under the car, gladly. Getting tired of being under there. I need a lift so bad. But we got the diff mount out, and we're gonna be replacing it with this one here. So you can see the difference is pretty stark actually between the two. There's like zero weight gain, benefits. This is definitely heavier, not that that matters, but should make things a little stiffer, a little more responsive, especially with everything going on with the car, and all the mounts already being much stiffer. I think this should help a lot. So let's go throw it on, see what it does. All right, so installation wise, just the opposite. We got same hardware. You can see we have the 4 bolts in there already. The rest of it lines up pretty well, with this going to receive that longer bolt that goes through that cross brace and through this diff mount. This piece just fell off because, you know, no one's holding it in place. So I gotta just throw that back in right before we throw that brace on. Would help too if I, you know, flipped it to the right way, like that. All right, so these two guys are in and tightened. Got these two in, not tightened. Gonna tighten them up, and that's it for install. So this was actually really simple, guys. If any of you are thinking about doing this, this is definitely as long as no bolts break and nothing crazy happens, This is a 30-minute job, which is awesome. All right, so that's it fully installed. Can't really see it. Not necessarily like a pretty part, but hopefully it gets the job done. Okay, so we're all set. We got that stuff installed. Sadly, it's all wet and rainy here in Jersey for the next few days still. So I won't get you guys an update on how this feels yet, but I'll get that out to you pretty soon. Probably in the next week or so, because we're going to do another video just showing off. We're actually going to be changing the color on the brake calipers up front and doing some brake work in the back. That's why the car is fully just up in the air. Got new to me tires put on the wheels, which help with fitment a little. My tires were a little too aggressive before, so I had a little too much meat. Pause. But anyways, appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.